What are you doing?
Trying to make it hot.
Why?
Because I'm cold.
It's not cold in here.
It is cold.
It's June, end of June. Paisley does not like the heat.
It'll be alright. Nah, you better leave it alone.
Paisley. 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 Yep, see, she's getting jumping away from it. It's too hot.
She can't even feel it. Come here, girl.
She don't want that heat.
She's just scared of it. It's just what it is. Come here.
Top of one of the largest volcanoes on the planet.
Today is.
Was. It's almost over. Day 28, but it was our first real day at Yellowstone. And we didn't even talk to y'all this morning. So we're going to try to recap and remember everything we did.
That's why she's going to do most of the talking, because I'm not good at remembering anything.
So let me start by saying Yellowstone is a ton of driving. And we didn't even really know where to begin. But Kathleen in our group recommended that we download an app that was called Shocka Guide.
Not Shocka Khan.
Shaka. And it looks like this on the app. And they have it for several different national parks, maybe even some state parks. There's a bunch of parks listed there. And I think it was $13.99 for Yellowstone. Basically, it's a drive-through narrator, so it picks up wherever you are. And if you're driving along one of the main roads, there's the Mammoth Hot Springs and this kind of thing that you can see the signs for, but it'll say, up here on the right, there's a turn-in for this little thing there's a small sign, but it's nothing like that, a big attraction that you would think to go to.
You basically have your own tour guide without paying for one of those big old buses or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It was like $100 and something, almost $200.
Yeah, the tours were expensive. And so for $14, I would recommend it.
Top of one of the largest volcanoes on the planet. And magma blows through fractures.
It gave a lot of history about the park, why certain things were named what they were, told you about a lot of little things that you might not have seen. We did not do the Mammoth Hot Springs the first day, even though the entrance we came through, it was one of the first things you got to. There was nowhere to park because there were so many people doing it. And we did go later in the day because we waited till Robert got off work, and we had to work
We had to do so much stuff around.
We had to do work in the morning. So we went in the afternoon, and by then it was crazy busy. So we did do one of it's in the Mammoth Thermal Spring Basin. I might have gotten that wrong, but it was called like Angel Terrace maybe. I'm not sure. I might have the name all wrong.
Like I said, she's got it better than I can. I can't remember that stuff.
I think it was Angel Terrace. But there were several different things that we got out and walked around. One that I really liked, because there's tons of these little hot springs and geysers, just little ones, and there'll be just a little puddle almost that's bubbling up to like a small pond area. And it's because it's
hot springs
on top of a volcano. So
yes, that's one thing I guess I wasn't good in geology.
I didn't realize it either.
But the Shocka thing, as we were driving through there, they said, you're on top of a large volcano. And it was like, wow, okay, that's where some of this stuff comes. And we drove through the basin of the volcano.
Right. And then a lot of the like rock formations and stuff, Shocka would tell you how they were formed, why they were named what they were, and point them out. Like even if there wasn't a pull-off, maybe it would point out that it's going to be up here on the left. So Sheep Eater Cliffs was one of them that we stopped. We didn't get out and climb up, but they're like hexagonal shaped pillars that go up. So the whole face of this rock wall, but they're all like, yeah, anyway.
Lisa didn't even get out to go to that one. I went to that one, and a bunch of kids were climbing around up top.
And the ground squirrels.
The
little ground squirrels were everywhere.
But it was pretty neat because you can see the kids kind of like, whether or not they were supposed to, I don't know, but they were kind of like mountain climbing on the way up. So
let me just say ground squirrels, they're cute. They look like prairie dogs, only they're the color of like a gray squirrel.
I wouldn't pet them.
So they really look like a squirrel with a chipmunk tail. And they're cute. They're really cute. And they dig in the ground and they live in the ground like a prairie dog. Fun fact, they carry the bubonic plague. So more people die in the parks every year from bites from the ground squirrels because they're cute and everybody wants to touch them. So don't touch them. Don't try to pick one up. If they bite you, it's going to be bad.
That's coming from the person that wants to touch every
but I do think they're
animal.
so cute. But don't do it. Don't let them pull you in. We did stop. There was a couple of different geysers, might be the word. There was one that was called the Roaring Mountain that used to be roaring. Now not so much. If you're really quiet, you could kind of hear the geyser, in the background wanting to come out of the side of the mountain. But we then stopped at Beryl Springs,
which was my favorite one, I think. The
so
color,
far,
the color
you might change
of it.
your mind.
Yeah,
we have
at
not
the
been
time.
to the Grand Prismatic. I feel like that's going to be the one.
I've seen pictures of that, and I think this one's still going to be my favorite. It's really colorful.
Beryl, and it's bright Beryl, Beryl.
Even the fence post.
Yeah, like any
blue.
of the wood there was blue. Like it was so bright blue. And then right above it, there was a geyser that just kept spewing, and it was really loud. So I'm not sure the what did I just call it? The mountain, the Roaring Mountain, was not really roaring.
It was a whispering mountain.
But Beryl Spring, it was roaring. I don't know if you can see from the angle he's at, but this is Beryl Spring, and it shines like the blue-green gemstone beryl. That's where it gets its name. The hot water and cold air combine in the winter to create ghost trees, which look like little Christmas trees, which are stacks of ice. The temperature of the water is usually a few degrees below boiling, and it generally oscillates between 188.5 and 192 degrees Fahrenheit. It is one of the hottest springs in Yellowstone.
And let me tell you, it's pretty warm.
It is, and when we pulled off, it was just a little bit of steam coming off.
I think it's getting ready to
Since we've
explode.
been here, it's gotten denser. But I hope that the video you took shows how blue that water looks. And even the posts on the fence, like behind us, have a blue hue to them, I guess from where the steams hit them. It's crazy.
You can feel it a little bit. It was boom, 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 boom.
We also did a stop at the, I don't know if it was the artist, but it was Paint Pots is what it was called. And it was like looked like a dried up pond, only the bottom wasn't dried
I
up.
wouldn't walk across that.
It was kind of like clay, and it was just bubbling up like a clay pot. And then you could walk down a path, and there was a geyser down at the bottom that just kept going and going and going and going. And so I don't think we would have stopped at that maybe if it weren't for Shocka.
So that geyser down the bottom that she's talking about, we walked through there, and it was spraying. The wind was blowing pretty hard. It was spraying. I mean, there was a ton of people there too. They were all taking video and picture of it. So we were all elbow to elbow trying to get in there.
It was fountain paint pots. That's what
And
it was called.
The funny thing was, out west there's no humidity, but with that heat coming off there, it was humid. The floor was slippery.
Yeah.
It was just rough. It felt like Louisiana in
And
the
it
summertime.
smells like sulfur.
It stunk.
It
But it was
smells
pretty
bad.
cool because it was just constantly bubbling up.
It's weird to look at something that looks like a pond and it's boiling. So it's just a little different. We also got to stop and test the water, see how cold it was or wasn't. I stuck my foot in.
I don't need to stick my feet in. I know it's cold.
I think Robert touched
plus
it too
I had my,
to see
my
how cold
shoes
it was.
and socks on, so I didn't really want to get my feet all wet. But All right. Let's see how cold it is. Walk in.
It's slippery.
How cold is it?
It's cold.
So we're talking 30 degrees or 60 degrees?
I mean, I wouldn't want to go swimming in it.
All right, Ann, your turn.
Oh yeah, that's good and cold.
Why don't you drink it?
Yeah.
They said you can drink that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Some spots. We stopped at several pull-offs, not just because Shocka said, but some of them, like when people pull off, if it's a busy pull-off. But we stopped at one. There wasn't a lot of people there, but before we could get backed out of our spot, it was full.
But
I was tired and I didn't want to go.
We had to go to that spot. So everybody stayed in the truck. I'll let you see right here what happened.
What was it?
Amazing, guys. You guys really got to get out and see this.
I'm sure.
It's amazing. It's worth the stop.
Yeah, like we said, every spot isn't worth pulling off for. Some of them are beautiful, some of them are whatever, some of them have animals, and some of them, it's just a spot.
We're just a place to pull off. We did have a date late in the afternoon. Let me back up. I would recommend taking snacks with you because food is a little ridiculous. When I say that, I think we paid almost $30 for 2 hot dogs, 2 bags of chips, and a drink.
For a hot dog, guys.
It wasn't even a good hot dog. You had to pay $1 for 3 extra toppings. Those would be things like sauerkraut or onions or what else did you get?
I got cheese.
Cheese. If you want those, $1 for 3 toppings. And when I said sauerkraut, he might have given me a teaspoon of sauerkraut. I'm like, could you give me a little bit more? I kind of like to know that it's on there. So it wasn't horrible, but it was horribly priced. But it did kill some time because we got to our date a little early.
Yes. We had to meet somebody that's usually pretty punctual.
Very important somebody.
And we learned this from Shocka. Because he's always on time. But he wasn't. Because when we got there, it said plus or minus 10 minutes. I don't remember the last time we were there.
I think it was minus more than 10 minutes, so there's that.
I don't remember the last time we were there, it was plus or minus 10 minutes. But it was a long time ago. So
but we were there. We did it.
After our hot dogs, our $30 hot dogs, we decided to go see the reliable,
the most reliable geyser in the park, so they say. Old Faithful. I think he was running a little behind schedule. No, he was early. He was early.
He was a little bit early, but I'm gonna tell you, I think she kind of lost his steam.
I don't think he goes as high as he used to. But, that's just me. But fun fact, very interesting, something Shocka did teach us is that, and I don't know the year, but up until it hasn't been...
Yeah, this is pretty cool.
I would say within the last 100 years, maybe, I feel
your
like...
lifetime.
Yeah. People used to put their clothes into Old Faithful to wash them, and when it would erupt, it would shoot their clothes back out. Then they'd pick them up and hang them to dry.
So can you imagine your whole wardrobe smelling like sulfur?
That's what I'm going to say. Like, okay, I can see the hot, it's hot water. They think it's all okay. But, like, you would stink all the time. Why would you want to do that?
I think you stink now.
I don't stink. But I just don't understand. But then tourists started putting other things in there so that the geyser would shoot them out. And so now you can't even get up to it.
But you know what? The fun thing to put in those geysers is like a bowling ball. Can you imagine shooting that bowling ball?
That would not be a fun thing to put in there.
See everybody run.
Not at all.
So that's the end of day one. And
I don't even feel like we scratched the
we
surface
didn't
on
scratch
day
it.
one. We continue to make lists of things we want to see and probably won't have time to see
But
them all.
in the next couple videos,
Well, like Mammoth Springs, I really want to see that, but it's right by the gate and it's always
we
crazy
do have
busy.
some cool ideas for you guys later, and we have some tips that we'll tell you near the end of these series because we've learned a couple things already. And she don't even know what I'm talking about.
I have no idea what he learned.
So if we remember this, in the next 2 or 3 or 4 days while we're still in Yellowstone, we will teach you some of the things that we learned that might help you
Oh,
get around
yeah,
a
I
little
know
bit
what
better.
he's talking about now. Mhm.
So anyway,
But tip one is take snacks with you, like a small cooler in your car, drinks, water,
backpacks.
fruit, just snacks so that you don't have to buy a full-on meal because the park is open 24/7.
Yes.
I mean, maybe they're closed for like Christmas or something, but they're open 24 hours a day. So you can get there as early as you want, you can stay as late as you want. And then with that being said, you're gonna need something to eat. Now, I don't know because we have a national park pass, so we were able to come and go as we pleased. I don't know if you bought a ticket for the day, if you could leave and eat and come back in. I would assume that you could if you bought a one-day ticket, but I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. So take snacks. I took fruit and some crackers and some water, and after that, after the $30 hot dog, we're gonna
Never
be
pay that much for a hot dog.
we're gonna be taking our own food.
We're not at the ball game, guys.
I've already got it. I've already got it packed up. We're gonna be taking fruit and crackers and some water, maybe a Diet Sprite or something. And yeah, I'm not trying to pay $30 again. So
All right, so guys, we will see you tomorrow, bright and early. We'll see you. We'll do day 2 in the Yellowstone. We'll see what
which
there
will be
is all
day
about
29.
it, and we'll see you guys in the park.
Safe travels.